Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Hope y'all are having a good, good night, really. It's very late for me, where I currently am. Hey Kev, welcome, and everybody else. Alright, so I was coincidentally, just working on my Cleric beginner guide, and I just finished it a little bit ago. And I saw that there was an update, so I figured since I was at my computer anyway, working on that I would do a little bit of a patch note reading, because there are some fairly important notes here that I think we should discuss. Let me go ahead and pull this up so we can start talking about this. Funny enough, one of the biggest changes, they brought back the HP for all change that they reverted many months or maybe even a year ago. I'm not sure how many of you recall, but there was a period of time where every single class in the game had gotten access to plus 15 HP, just flat health, and they reverted it, I think because SDF liked the faster time to kill. So that is reverted, or at least semi-reverted. They've actually altered that during this update, which is pretty big. It's going to change fights, I imagine, a decent bit. I mean, that can easily be the difference between one extra hit. So just a thought. Alright, so new patch. We'll just kind of go through this. Some of this stuff is obviously more important than others, but I will just start with like the basic like bug fixes and stuff like that. Okay, so what do? They fixed an issue where players could not perform an action other than movement after entering a dungeon. Cool. I never noticed any bug like that, but I guess there was an issue in the game. They fixed an issue where arrows might not hit monsters after using ranger, quickshot, or quickfire. I never noticed that bug either, but always good to see bugs fixed. Fixed a flamethrower damage bug. I wonder if this is why Sorcerer Flamethrower felt so bad to me. I did give it a try during a stream of mine, and it didn't really feel like Flamethrower was doing very much. I wonder if it was all because of a bug. I wonder if Flamethrower was just not working like it was supposed to. That would be interesting if that ends up being the case. Hey Tortuga, welcome. Hey Adam as well. Yeah, I saw that they're adding obsidian crafts to the game. So I don't know if we'll be able to, I'm assuming we're not going to be able to see that tonight, because I'm not going to be on long enough for like the servers to go back up and all that fun stuff. But I am curious what the crafts are going to end up being. Hey Rock, that happened to you mid-game. It just put away your weapons randomly while you're walking, couldn't do anything. Oh, really? Damn, okay. So that was a relatively big bug, and that would actually make me really mad. If I was running like a really like geared kit, and I just lost it because I was on, you know, because I just couldn't do anything, that would be really upsetting. So I'm glad that got fixed. Fix an issue where Sorcerer's electric dash could be easily used to defeat Spectral Knight. Wasn't there a bug, or I don't know if we should call it a bug, wasn't there a thing where Sorcerers were killing the Fire Colossus for free as well last patch? I don't know what happened, but it almost feels like Sorcerers have been coming up with very creative ways to cheese out the bosses just this season, and I don't exactly know why. But yeah, I do feel like that's kind of happened, which is very funny. Okay. Fix an issue where Sorcerer's electric dash could be used to move outside the map within the cave pit hall module. Alright. Well, it used to be druids that would get out of the map. I guess Sorcerer found a way to do that. Yeah, it's like a bunch. I don't know what it is. Maybe more people were just playing Sorcerer, so more bugs are being found. It's possible. Fix an issue where Sorcerer dash could use to easily enter the mystery. Yeah, so yeah, there's like a ton of like weird things here. I guess collision hitbox issues with that skill or the spell. Fix an issue where players would be immediately attacked by a giant bat upon spawning in ruins. Oh, dude, shit like this is so obnoxious. Not like this specifically, not this spawn. It's happened to me before where I'll spawn on caves and I will immediately be getting attacked by a nightmare mob. It could be a nightmare mummy, it could be spiders, just anything, really. That kind of stuff is really annoying, because not everybody loads into the game at the same time. So if there's ever any spawns where stuff will attack you, it's like an actual problem. So, W change. Fix an issue where a wall near a door would appear unnaturally, whatever. Fix an issue where players could exit the map through a hole in the Trap B module. How do people find this stuff? I've never heard of any of these out-of-bound, like, things before. It's so funny. Fix an issue where certain attack effects of Fire Colossus would persist even after attack had ended. You know, I tried to fight the Fire Colossus and it felt like certain things were, like, it looked like the boss's attacks were a little bit weird. Like, they weren't quite synced. And I thought it was crazy. Maybe I wasn't crazy. Maybe it was just bugged. That's what it sounds like. Fix an issue where the Dark Swarm border would appear thicker than intended on minimap in Squire to Riches. Fix an issue where only 10% of attended luck value is being applied. Wait, did they actually fix luck? Did they just, like, casually drop it in the bug fixes? No way. There's no way they actually just fixed luck after being broken for a year? 2 years? Oh my god, is this how luck is fixed? It's just in, like, the random bug fixes. It's not even a big update. That would be crazy. Did they finally fix it? Oh man. It might, dude, that's a crazy bombshell to just drop like that. I'm glad I didn't gloss over the issue fixes. Okay. Hey Terrells. Welcome, welcome. Hey Tarnation, your friend who plays Ranger would get bugged out a lot after getting double headshot and couldn't do anything, or double shot and couldn't do anything. Yeah, that's really annoying. I didn't notice anything. That's probably because I don't play a lot of Ranger. But yeah, I'm glad they fixed it. Okay, so yeah, apparently luck is fixed. Maybe? We'll have to do some more testing to double check and verify, but yeah, apparently luck is fixed. So that's interesting. Fix an issue where the headshot damage bonus could exceed its maximum hard limit. Wasn't that already fixed in a previous patch? There must have been more issues there. Fix an issue where spellcasting effect could appear offset with Dwarf Voice. Issue where description of exclusive items in shop could explain with identical names. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Merge the Seoul region into Tokyo server to improve matchmaking. Okay, so they removed one of their servers. Probably one of their like less popular servers that didn't really have a lot of players on it. Obsidian crafted weapons have been added. Yeah, I'm interested to see what these are going to be. I wonder if I should buy obsidian. Is it too late to buy obsidian? Oh, it's too late. Oh, it's absolutely too late. I'm pretty sure this is already going up in price. Yeah, it definitely is. Okay. Yeah, might have missed out on that. I guess I should have done that as soon as the notes dropped. I mean, it's all speculative anyway. There's no way to know. Like, the obsidian crafting could be completely worthless. We don't really... Yeah, it's kind of like rolling the dice on buying the ore or not. The MMR gap threshold for party members at Arena has been increased from 1,800 to 2,200. In Arena, only one character per class per account. The one with the highest rating will now be ranked. One character per class per account. Oh, this is to stop the people that were cheesing Arena to have multiple characters in the top rank that were messing with their numbers. Because they're doing that whole, like, Warlord tournament or whatever. And Iron Mace had mentioned that that players were creating multiple accounts with multiple Warlords. And it was messing with their, like, their tournament. So, yeah, you're not going to be able to, like, I guess, rank with multiple characters now. So, FYI. The kill feed UI in Arena has been improved to distinguish between teams and resets. Oh, this is a really big change, by the way. This one right here. I don't want anyone to gloss over this. This is potentially one of the biggest changes of the patch. We will be increasing the battle intensity of Squire's the Richest mode to better fit its battle mode moniker. The Squire to Riches mode will be limited to just the Forgotten Castle dungeon as we tune the balance. All escapes and static downs have been removed from ruins and crypts. They're gone. You can only go down a level through random red portals. Escape is only possible from Inferno and taking the final portal. So, any of you Squire to Riches players out there, they have just done a huge change. I'm not a Squire to Riches player, but I know this is going to affect them a lot. Like, that is a really big change. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying it is a big change. Fix an issue where arrows might not hit monsters after using Ranger Quickshot or Quickfire. You thought you had a skill issue? No, Feezy. Apparently it was not a skill issue. The game was bugged. People would have multiple locks on leaderboard. Yeah. From my understanding, people were pretty much cheesing the arena to have multiple people on the leaderboard. If Obsidian Craft is fire resistance, I don't know what it's gonna be. It's hard to say. They'll just gotta wait and see. It might affect arena. If Obsidian Crafts are epic, if they're good epics, could be a big deal. The sale of the seasonal pack is ending soon. Whatever. I don't even know why you'd be buying the seasonal pack still. There's no point in buying it with season ending soon. Sale period till April 23rd. Wait. They're letting you buy the seasonal pack until the 23rd? Why are they even gonna let you buy it? Are you like you're gonna buy the seasonal pack and then the server will wipe like what, a week later? Because they already said that we're getting a wipe in April. So I'm assuming at this point we are confirmed it's after April 23rd. This is like a soft confirmation here. Because if they're selling seasonal packs and it doesn't end until the 23rd, obviously it's not going to be until after that date. So there you go. They added the merge soul region twice, so somebody's a little sleepy at the office. All right, balance updates. These are pretty big too from what I've seen so far. Base health for all classes have been increased by 10. That is massive. So I mentioned it at the start of the stream. Way back in the day, because I'm a seasoned veteran and all. Way back, we used to have plus 15 max HP across the board for every class. So for example, let's go over to our pal Rogue real quick, because it's a big deal. That 10 HP is not a small change. Like, I know like a new player might think, oh, 10 HP, who cares? It's only 10 health. No, like 10 health is actually like 10 health is actually massive. It's a really big deal. It's really, really big. Okay, I want to show you the base health of Rogue. My freaking Squire is full. I'll just throw it in here. It's fine. Okay, so base HP of Rogue right now is 99. Wait, is that right? It has to be right, because the update hasn't happened yet. Yeah, that has to be right. It didn't, like, I'm not, like, tripping, right? Rogue was 100 HP flat. Yeah, because the update it's not live, so, like, robust should still be 10%, not 8. I'm just, like, making sure I'm not, like, losing my mind here. Okay, yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay, so base HP right now of Rogue in, like naked is 99. I think Wizard is also 99. I think you're right, Jay. So base of Rogue is now going to be 109. That is a 10% increase in, just from a naked state. That is a very big deal, So in a geared Rogue kit now, a geared Rogue is usually sitting at like 30 to 40 PDR. and then like 140 HP. Geared Rogue is now going to be sitting like, with that extra 10 HP. That could easily change a fight for 1 extra hit. That's a really big deal. So, yeah, that is a massive change for PvP. Selected spells can now be deselected by clicking the mouse wheel in the in-game UI. Oh. Wait, that means Wizard can block now. Wait, Bonk Wizard can block without sacrificing a spell slot. That's a big change, actually. That's a huge change. That's another big, yeah, that's massive. So yeah, wizards can now, you can now run 5-spell Bonk Wizard and block. Finally, thank God. It was so stupid. Every time someone told me, oh, just remove one of your spells, I'm like, I don't want to play 4-spell Wizard. Like, I already have so little spells as is. I don't want to, like, sacrifice a spell slot. This is a great change. I like that a lot. Damage reduction while guarding unarmed has been decreased. Damage reduction while guarding has been decreased. Okay, so blocking with your fists. I don't know how I feel about that. So fist blocking doesn't block as much as it used to. I don't really know how I feel about that. I know it's fists. I understand like what it's doing. What I don't understand is why. Is that broken? I feel like as a range class, you're still getting free damage in, even if they're guarding. So I'm not entirely sure. Maybe they felt like it was too high. I would have to go in-game to test it, but it's going to be impossible to do it since the servers are closing. Alright. I'll just kind of move on for now. I'm not really too sure how to like read into that. While drinking ale, movement speed is now reduced at the same rate as other potions. Oh my god, it's a Jolly Time Bard nerf. Oh, thank god. I know not everybody was affected by this. This is more of a high roller thing, but I did showcase Ale Bard in normals against a wizard the other day, and it was like super broken, like actually busted. Basically, I was able to use Ale to out heal the wizard spells. Like I just drained them of everything, and because you stay at full speed during ale drinking, like you just can't like do anything about it. In HR, it's even worse. Ale Bard is like the ultimate range class, so that is nice. Now the sad thing though is this not indirectly, it directly also nerfs Ale Cleric, since Cleric can no longer use Ale like as aggressively in a fight, like as close. So that's kind of shitty, but it is definitely needed for the sake of balance for Bard. So good change, I would say. Hey, it's another good change. All right, we're on fire. The maximum chance of Goblin recovery based on affinity has been increased from 50 to 80%. You know what? 80% chance for me to recover an item, that's honestly not bad. So if I lose a full HR kit, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pieces, maybe 13. So I have, on average, I should get like 10 out of 13 pieces of gear back by default. That's actually pretty good. I'm okay with that. That is way better than 50%. Because that 50 was screwing me. Because it was 50, but it didn't feel like 50. Because sometimes I would low roll and I would just get nothing back after I die. It was really obnoxious. So yeah, I'm very happy to see that. I personally think the Goblin Merchant should return everything, but I'll take 80 too. Nexon said Daquan will be out 2027, but didn't I say September 2026? That's what I was told. Wait, where did they say 2027? That's news to me. Yeah, the last I heard, that manager had said 2026 in my, they had, yeah, they had definitely said that. Where did they say 2027? Yeah, that's maybe maybe the date changed. That's unfortunate. Tough luck. Well, guess we're gonna be waiting longer for that one. I'm actually a little sad about that. Yeah, I guess maybe they felt like it wasn't ready and they delayed it. Because they definitely did say 2026, yeah. That was definitely said. I guess they felt like it just, I don't know. I guess they felt like it wasn't ready yet. You think range classes have been upset that melee can close the distance? What do you mean they've been upset? Range is still meta in this game. So I don't really understand why... Range is free damage in this game. Like, longbow does a ton of damage. Have you ever, like, have you played Geared Ranger? Because a Geared Ranger can hit you in the head with a longbow for, like, half your health. It basically hits for, like, Morningstar damage at any range, and it's really, really good. So, I mean, like, closing the gap is what you have to do against them. So I don't really understand why that should even be, like, a real talking point. I understand that you mean because of the unarmed guard change, but all I'm saying is I don't understand why the unarmed guard should be nerfed. Like, I don't really agree with that change, personally. I feel like range classes, generally speaking, it should be up to them to hit their shots. And I feel like arm guarding is... You still take a lot of damage. Even a Geared Ranger, like, if they just hit you in, like, the chest or the legs, really the chest area, like, you're still taking decent damage. I don't know. I just think that's a weird change, but we'll see how it works in practice. You saw somewhere they're going to work on improving combat? Oh, Naquan? They said it was in a marketing briefing 3 days ago. Yeah, so my guess, B2, my only guess I can give you is that the September 2026 date that was given to me as the initial estimated date from the developers, my only guess is that they looked at the game and decided that they wanted to make changes, I guess the combat changes, and they felt like the game wasn't ready. And honestly, it's not a bad thing. I will say, Naquan was super fun. I think the zombie, like the PvE was really fun in that game. But I will say the PvP was pretty lackluster, and most of the skills and talent points and stuff were unusable. So, I don't really mind it. If it gets delayed for the sake of the game not releasing Dead on Arrival, I'm fine with that. Can I link the Discord? Sure. You don't think you agree with it either? But we also know Iron Mace sometimes doesn't explain things well. You assume it doesn't affect MDR? I would assume so. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just kind of have to wait and see once the patch release, or once it comes out. Okay. So, fighter. Additional projectile damage reduction from projectile resistance while in defensive stance has been decreased from 15 to 10%. Really? Projectile resistance defense stance? I don't think I've ever even considered taking that perk in solos. That must be a team thing. Because I'm telling you straight up, I don't think I've ever taken that perk in solos. Where's it at? I don't even know what perk it is. Yeah, this one here. Projectile resistance, gain 10% reduction, while in defensive, gain an additional 15%. I am telling you straight up, I have not used this perk all season. I didn't even know it was good. That must be like an arena thing or something, because It sure as hell was not used in solos. That's interesting. Shield Mastery now only applies to shields. Oh, wait. Shield Mastery. Oh my god. Wait. Wait, that's actually... Wait, that's huge. Wait. Isn't that what causes Longsword to instantly attack? So, like... I don't use longsword, so correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm not, you know, I could be wrong. My understanding is longsword is benefiting from shield mastery because you block, and then the 50% action speed towards your next block works for attacking. So the longsword goes out really, really fast. So that is a direct, like, that is a straight up nerf. Like, straight nerf towards longsword fighter. Like, that is a huge nerf. That's counterattack? No. No. Counterattack works with longsword. You're not understanding. Shield mastery has been bugged, quote unquote, for years. Because shield mastery says that it gives you action speed towards your next block. But in actuality, the way the perk works is when you block with longsword, you gain longsword action speed. Like attack, parry action speed. So that change, that is like, I cannot express to you how big of a change it is for longsword to lose 50% action speed on a parry. That is huge. I don't know where Lance is, but Lance is gonna be very sad to read that. Because that is gonna change entirely. That changes the gameplay. Yeah, oh, that also changes one-handed blocking too. So any fighters that were still left using like arming sword shield, you no longer get the 50% arming sword swing either. That's such a huge nerf, we don't even know how that will play, we've never seen it. Yeah, because every single longsword player in the history of Dark and Darker, once they realize how good shield mastery is, has used this perk. Because it's basically required for that weapon. I don't even know how to react to that change. Like, that is an incredibly big change. I can't even... I'm actually surprised. That is legitimately one of the biggest nerfs I've ever seen on a weapon. That's crazy. Wait, they nerfed longsword as well? Wait, did they double nerf it? Hold up. Oh my god, they double nerfed it. Oh my god, it's worse than I thought. Longsword counterattack has been increased from 1.5 to 1.35. Holy shit. Longsword just got the biggest update of Dark, like, probably of Dark and Darker's history. I'm not even exaggerating. They lost 50% action speed, and Riposte does 0.15x less damage. That's crazy. Huh. Alright. Well, I don't really know how to react to this change. I don't that's I need to like I need to ping Lance. Because Lance has been using longsword exclusively for years. What the heck, man? What a change. Yeah, I'm honestly kind of in disbelief. I mean, I know some of you guys might not, like, truly understand. That is one of the biggest nerfs I've ever seen to a weapon since probably, like, old Dark and Darker updates where they would, like, change shit all the time. I don't think I've seen an update this big in over a year. Legitimately, I think it's been it's got to have been over a year since I've seen a change like this. Barb got another little smack too. I saw that. Yeah, I didn't get to the Barb changes yet. But the Barb changes, there's no way they even compare to Longsword Fighter changes. Why is my game open? Because if you had the game open before it went down, it doesn't kick you off right away. If I closed the game and tried to reopen it, I wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, I'm with you, Maury. I'm 100% with you. I can't think of a nerf as big as the Shield Mastery nerf and the riposte damage nerf combined. Like, they double nerfed it. It's gutted. I mean, that's a big change. So, alrighty. Anyway, I guess we'll just move on. I'm just I'm just so surprised. I can't believe how much that got nerfed. That's crazy. Alright. Robust max health decreased from 10% to 8%. So every class gained 10 HP, but Barbarian lost 2%. Well, this was a required perk. Every Barb had to take this. What is 2% for Barb? 2% of Barb. My Barbs are usually rocking like 150 HP base, like in blues. Yeah, so without Robust, I have 155 HP. Oh, that's a skin too, though. Let me take off the skin. Yeah, so without Robust, I'm at 153 or 152. Okay, we must be in like some weird decimal place here because it shows in a different spot here and here. That's kind of weird. Let me do this because it's gonna bother me. I'll just we'll just add this. That's fine. Okay, so we'll just be at 154 now since that was like bugging out. Oh my god, it's still bugged. What the heck is happening? It doesn't matter. Whatever. Anyway, so we're 153 health with no Robust, and Robust gives us... I've never seen that bug before at the homepage. It's really strange. So, Robust gives us 15 HP. They nerfed it by 2%. So, what is 2% of that going to be? That's going to be nerfed by 2.5 damage. No, that's a 3 damage nerf. Is that right? 3 out of 15 is 1 in 5. 2 out of 10 is 1 in 5. Yeah. So, yeah. With Robust, with this current build, that would put us at 165. So we lose 3 HP. So Robust is a little bit weaker. But every class gains 10 health. So we're still gonna be more healthy than pre-patch. But we're gonna be closer to every other class. Does that make sense? So basically, Barbarian is losing 3 HP. But because every other class and Barbarian is all gaining 10 base HP, Barbarian will actually gain 7 HP instead of 10, which is definitely like a decent nerf. That is a big deal. Like 3 HP might not sound like a lot, but I promise you, when you consider stuff like Warcry, which works on your max HP bonus, or just like general, like the way stats work, like Berserker as well, when you consider how it all like kind of operates together, that is a decent nerf. Like, it's not longsword nerf, but it is a big deal. Grappling hook cooldown has been reduced from 28 to 22 seconds. Honestly, that's cool to see. I haven't been hit by a grapple hook, I think, all season. I legitimately don't even know what it looks like when you get hit by a grapple, because no one's ever hit me with one. So, yeah, if Barbarians start running grapple, I'm cool with that. I think it's a great patch all in all. Well, so far, I will tell you that most of the updates I've seen have felt like W's to me. So I'm definitely not, like, upset about it. I'm also not a longsword player, so I don't really care about longsword getting nerfed, but I know that the longsword players are going to be very upset about this. Yeah, the spell deselection is a really big quality of life change. Yeah, if anybody is just now joining, you're going to be able to deselect your spells now. So as like a wizard, you don't have to sacrifice a spell slot. You can just deactivate it by clicking your mouse wheel. Very cool to see. Barbarian won't be nerfed into what it should be. I don't think Barbarian is really OP right now. I honestly, I'm surprised to see another Barb nerf. I thought Barb was fine. I've been playing... I mean, I have been taking a little bit of a break over the last week. But I will tell you, I think Barbarian has felt manageable, personally. I mean, it's like 2% health is whatever. Like, for Robust, like, it's... Robust was such a required perk. It's fine. It's not gonna make or break the class or anything. But I feel like the balance has been relatively decent, so I don't really... It's just... I could go with or without the change. I don't really care, to be honest. Class will still be good. 2% is not gonna kill the class or anything, so... Now this change... My fellow Warlock players... This change is almost as big as the longsword change. Like, this change is big. So demon form gains 50 HP upon transformation. It has been that way basically forever. Oh my god, thank you, John, for the 137-man raid. Welcome, everybody. We're going over the patch notes right now. Yeah, shout out to John. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. Let me do this real quick. Hey, John, did you see the changes to Longsword? Or just, like, the general updates overall? Longsword got some insane changes. I honestly don't even know if Longsword Fighter is going to be... I don't even know if it's going to be used very much in High Roller or not after the changes it got. Yeah, John, so it got 2 nerfs. So it got the parry damage nerf from 1.5x to 1.35, but they fixed the bugged shield perk. So Longsword got 50% increased action speed when you blocked with that shield perk, because the shield, like, it basically treated the Longsword as a shield for action speed block. They patched it. So Longsword lost 50% action speed on top of the damage. So I don't know how much Longsword's going to be used or not at this point. I really have no idea. Yeah, it's very big. Also, I just got to Warlock. I don't know if you saw this as well. So Warlock perk, or skill, sorry, gives you 50 health, 50 armor, 50 MR, and then it gives you the, like, damage over time when you're, like, nearby. Enemies are nearby. And then you lose a little bit of HP per second. So this perk, or I can't keep saying perk, this skill is nerfed. So now transformation health is going to be 50 to 30. That is such a big change. So in default gear, let's look at Squire Warlock real quick. I'm running this. This is actually a super good kit. Let me store this. This is not going to be a good indicator if I show you in these stats. So base Warlock with no gear. We'll just go like naked. So naked Warlock went from 111 to 161 HP. So that percentage-wise, that is what, like 40% extra health. Now, granted, obviously you have Squire gear, so maybe you're like more like 120. But still, that is a massive difference. With Demon Form, I think it is almost guaranteed, even in Squire, that you're sitting around 170 HP. So you will no longer see 170 health Squire Demon Form Warlocks anymore. That 20 health is a pretty big deal. It's a very big change. No, the patch is the patch is barely started. Yeah, it's not going to be up for a while, unfortunately. Honestly, I think Warlock... I think it was a little bit strong. I really kind of fell off of using demon form after the disarm nerf early season, because I was using it more to just counter the disarm fighters. But I can't deny that demon form Warlock is insanely strong. Do you guys think that nerf is justified? I mean, in actuality, because every class gained 10 HP, you could look at it as demon form only lost 10 health. But everybody else is going to be 10 HP higher, so it's like not really quite that way. I would still look at it. But I mean, really, if you think of it, should you really be 160 or 170 health in naked? Like completely naked? That is like a little bit excessive, I wonder. And like Warlock's healing is so strong as well. Like the demon form skill that you have. It heals you so much. I think that nerf might be I think it's warranted. I'm a little bit biased because I think that Demon Warlock was really fun and I liked using it, but I think it was probably needed. Yeah, it's pretty overtuned. I'll be real with you. I would say deserved for sure. By the way, before I get kicked off of the game, look at this Warlock kit that I built. So we are running a 36% magic power bonus damage build with a unique stuff with 45 PDR and 56 MDR because of anti-magic. So between Dark Reflection, Soul Collector, and Dark Enhancement, the amount of magic damage we're doing, I tested it. Our BOC in this build is currently hitting for 51 damage. Just BOC, not including the Dark Reflection, double stacked with Soul Collector damage. I think Dark Reflection plus Soul Collector probably does like 100 damage. No, I'm not even kidding. I think I actually do like 100 damage with this build. Like just magic damage with just BOC and Dark Reflection, not including the staff damage hit. It's pretty disgusting what Warlock can accomplish. Honestly, the gear's not even that it's expensive. But a lot of Warlock's gear isn't super pricey. Like no one uses bone helms, so like this shit is like 1,000 gold. If you were to get like a more meta piece of gear, like the occultist pants as well, very unmeta. If this were like heavy leather leggings or padded leggings, for example, it'd be way more expensive. But yeah, this is I tested it out a little bit. I actually have a small video that I was recording because I made my cleric guide earlier. Before I was doing that, I played one HR match and I actually got a kill with it. I would love to actually show you guys what this looks like. Hold up. Give me a second. Actually, it's pretty disgusting how quick this goes. Since we're talking about Warlock nerfs anyway, I don't know, I feel like I want to show this. It's pretty crazy. Let's see. Where is it at? I think it's this video. Let me show you this bard kill I got. Okay. So we're fighting a bard. So with this build also, we have so much magic damage total that I can use the Hydra Life Leech to basically fill our entire HP pool. It's pretty disgusting. So he magic pots, you know, blue pot, red pot, whatever, all that fun stuff. Our Curse of Pain does 37 damage, plus the overtime 3 at a time. So our Curse of Pain does like 60 damage right now. It's like stupid high. So basically with this build, I am able to constantly throw out Hydras, and if at any point I ever get low HP at a... Yeah, if at any point I get low HP at range, I can just full heal with life drain. It's really gross. So I'm basically using the Hydra here to just try to make him make a mistake. This is where this guy goofed up. So he tries to push. 1 Curse of Pain. 1 VOC. He hits me once and he's dead. Like, you see how quick that is? Like, that's insane. Look how quick this guy dies. So remember, that Curse of Pain is 37 damage. That VOC is like 50 damage to the head, plus the staff hit, which is like another 70. I don't think it hit his head though, or he would have probably got one shot. So my guess is it probably hit like his arm, or maybe his whatever. So that probably did another like 60 to 70 damage. So right now, just with the spell and the hit, he's lost like 80 to 90% of his health. He is probably already almost one shot. And remember, I still have Dark Reflection in my full stacks. So at this point, he hits me and he's dead. Like that's it. Again, at that point, there was no counterplay. Because if he hits me, he dies to the Dark Reflection. And if he doesn't hit me, obviously I just kill him. So yeah, this build is really, really disgusting. I like it a lot. Check Sling's movement speed. It's 5. I do remember. Because I just made a cleric guide earlier. I'm gonna post it tomorrow. Because people have been asking me to make a guide for that. Yeah, Sling is at -5. Weird that your curse is 37 because your 90% magic damage build with Dark Offering hits for 37. You think it has a damage cap? Was he geared? He was full blue geared, I believe it was. Actually, here, well, hold up. I can show you what his gear was. It's like okay. It was like blue gear, like blue and like random purples, legendary stuff like that. Even if he was in higher gear, like let's say he was in like full like purple or legendary like this, I promise you he's still dying. I promise. This guy is straight up dying regardless of what he's running. Like even if he's running like the Abyss, I'm telling you, man, with how much damage your BOC, Dark Reflection, and Curse is doing, there's just no chance for him to survive. We kill a wizard too. I can show you this as well if you're curious. Let me see. Let's see. Let me get. He was running for a while. Yeah, it took me a fat minute to actually fight this guy. So remember, we have with anti-magic, we have 56% magic reduction. This guy's actually geared. So we hit him with a curse. So again, that's 37 plus 3 damage per tick, so he'll be down about 61 health after this. He gets the door shut though, so I'm sure he gets some healing here. Hit him with another. Actually, I missed my curse. I hit that curse. I actually messed up here. I should not have thrown a curse here. I should have swapped to Dark Bolt. If you're not aware, maybe you don't play a well Warlock. When you use Curse of Pain, if they're already Curse of Pain, you cannot re-curse them. I think it'll re-dot them, but it won't do the base damage. So I should have Dark Bolted here, and that probably would have killed him. I was like, I don't know why, but in my mind, I for some reason was thinking he had melee. I thought maybe he had, like, he was gonna like try to hit me with like, I don't know, maybe like some kind of ignite proc or something, because he had meditate on. Although honestly, meditate should have been my call that he didn't have it. But in my mind, I was like, okay, if he pushes me at the door and tries to hit me with, like, any melee, he just dies. But he didn't do that, so I recursed him, which was a mistake. So this actually almost gets me killed. Because you can see, I know it's kind of hard to see because of this bottom part. My health's about 1/3 right now. He actually does a lot here. So Explosion does, like, 1/4. He double explosions me. And then I get hit with Fireball. So I'm down to about 75%. It doesn't matter though. He ended up dying there anyway, but yeah, I think what I need to do. Oh, this is how much health I get too with this, by the way. Hold up. When I want you to actually like look how much HP I get from Hydra. This shit is gross. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I'm at like 10%. I go all the way from 10% to 75. So Hydra life drain with this build, like the full damage Warlock, is giving you. It's like 70% total damage. Also, again, I want to be clear. This wizard was in some really weird gear. it was good gear, but it's like weird. He's running agility gear. It's super strange. I've never really seen a wizard build like this before. So I don't know what his total speed was, but he had like all uniques with that on. So there's that. However, his rings were really good. The rings were legendary with like good stuff. These rings were probably like 3,000 or 4,000 a piece. And then like the other gear was probably like whatever. Yeah, I think this guy's entire game. Yeah, I was very wrong, by the way. In my mind, I thought this guy was going to try to melee me. I could not have been further from the truth. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. He was never going to melee me at all. His entire game plan was just to kite forever with his movement speed on agility. I do wonder if I would have lost this kit if that bola hadn't come in and like bonked him for me. Yeah, that bola, I think, I don't really know. Really, it just came down to my misplay here. I know for a fact if when he went through this door, because he has so little HP. I know for a fact if I swap over to Dark Bolt, I know for a fact this kills him. He dies right there. Yeah, so it's just whatever, live and learn. I'm a little bit of a Warlock noob, kind of, sort of. I feel like I'm good at Warlock, but it's not my best class. I definitely could play better, but regardless, I think this build's really good. So, yeah, if you're looking for a new build to play that's fun for High Roller, I'd highly recommend building a full magic power bonus Warlock kit with BOC magic staff. It's really strong, and it feels really fun to play too. I might, if I can get a lot of PvP with that build, I might make a video on it, but I don't have enough PvP to showcase yet. Oh, it's not magic. No, it's not magic healing. I think you're not understanding what it does. No, life drain scales on damage, not on magic healing. So, building for magic power bonus, because this build is 36% magic power, that's what scales our HP gain. It's not a magic healing stat. It's a magic damage stat. You should use Curse of Weakness instead of Power Sacrifice if you're not using Torture Mastery. Weakness is insanely strong. Honestly, you're probably right. I probably should use it. I kind of, honestly, I agree with you. I think it's slept on. You know what? I'll respect it. I'll swap it right now so I remember for next time I play. You're absolutely right. Weakness is very, very good because it reduces their magic damage reduction too. So all of your damage is just 15% stronger. No, you're right. I should use this. I agree. Look at that. You actually improved my build. Thanks. All right, let's go back to the patch notes. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked because we were talking about Warlock. So anyway, I think the Demon Form Transformation nerf is fine. I think it was warranted. I don't know if Warlock's going to get any more nerfs, but I do think Warlock is very, very strong right now. So, there you go. All right, so Sorcerer. Oh, also one other thing, sorry, before I forget to mention it. I think some new players don't realize how... No! Oh... I'll have to just tell you. I mean, I know it. Okay, so I think a lot of new players don't realize how good anti-magic is. So anti-magic is a flat 20% MR. So against that wizard, instead of 36% MDR, we had 56, which is effectively giving us probably an additional 100 plus HP. No joke against that wizard player. Anti-magic is heavily slept on. It works against every class except for cleric. It doesn't work against holy magic, but it dumpsters against other wizards and warlocks and stuff like that. It's very, very strong. I wanted to show you the stats, but whatever. All right. I knew it was coming, but MDR cap is 50. No. MDR cap is 65, just like PDR. PDR and MDR are 65. My entire cleric build that I'm making or that's releasing tomorrow, the entire build is based around hitting 65% PDR cap because of how good the Divine Protection skill is, because it gives you a flat 30% PDR. Well, I will tell you, you can definitely die to a landmine rogue with that build, but straight up, if a rogue fails to kill you on the initial engagement, rogue will like rogues do not have very much MDR, generally speaking. I think BOC, Dark Reflection, with like the 100% damage bonus from Soul Collector is enough to almost one-shot a rogue, even in good gear. Because that shit's doing 100 damage. Like, it's 100 magic damage. And rogues usually have like less than 10% MDR. So you're doing 90 damage in magic alone. And if you hit them with one singular curse, they're 100% dying. Does it work? It does work. I think it shows in-game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it shows in-game. I don't think it shows in the menu. I promise you it works. At least it should work, from what I can tell. Whenever I use Warlock, I feel like I can like notice a difference. The obsidian weapons, that's a good question. My guess is they're just gonna be, I mean, how could I even really give you an answer to that? It's probably just gonna be unique crafts that are used for arena. That'd be my guess. The longsword nerf is funny. Oh, dude, the longsword nerf is absolutely massive. I cannot express to you how big of a change the longsword nerf is. It's really quite large. Okay, so Sorcerer got a ton of nerfs as well, by the way. I want to talk about these two real quick. Okay, so this doesn't matter. It's just suppressed sorcery isn't required because they added a way to deselect spells. Effect size of flamethrower has been reduced to better match its actual damage range. Whatever, no one used flamethrower anyway. Glaciate got a nerf, which we were expecting. I don't think anyone's really going to be surprised about this. So Glaciate has been changed from tier 2 to tier 1. Technically, that is a buff. But they nerfed the damage. So they reduced the scaling of Glaciate by half. And they also reduced the duration. So the duration of Glaciate is now similar to Ignite. That 3 seconds is a really big deal, by the way. Because what Sorcerers wanted to do was hit Glaciate and then teleport into melee. That 3 seconds, it could end before you're done with melee, so that is like, this is overall a big nerf. So between the damage and the duration, it's a big deal. Stone Sin, physical reduction decreased from 15 to 10%, and reduction from 15 to 12. So Sorcerer's main melee combo was Glaciate plus Stone Skin. They would cast both of them, and it would last 15 seconds. They've both now been nerfed. So Sorcerer does less damage, you're less tanky, and it doesn't work for as long. And they've changed Electric Dash. The damage range has been reduced, so you're less likely to get damage done with Electric Dash on top of it. And they nerf Frost Lightning duration from 1.75 to 1.5 seconds, which was again... Actually, no, but that's more like that's more range sorcerer, though. Honestly, that's a good change. This shit made me mad. I don't know about you, but I feel like Sorcerer hitting this, which is honestly not that hard to hit, and it was a guaranteed bolt. I feel like it was kind of like busted. I think 1.5. I don't know. I don't really mind this nerf, to be honest. I think it's warranted. Fire Orb increased. Sure, I don't know how much that changed. Plasma Blast increased from 40 to 50 and now applies burn. That is crazy. So Plasma Blast, I think, is the like kamikaze, right? Is the sorcerer spell that like you activate on yourself, and it's like an explosive vest kind of deal. So I don't know how good that could possibly be, but there you go. It is a little bit of a funny spell considering it self hurts you. Yeah, it's basically a nuke, but it hurts yourself too. Ice Spear now applies a frostbite effect on hits. There you go. So overall, I would say these are mostly nerfs Frost Lightning nerf is huge to Range Sorcerer. Glaciate, Stone Skin, Dash are all big nerfs in general, especially to melee Sorcerer. I'm a little bit torn on this. So I've played on and off for probably, I mean, I've played on and off since the update. I am telling you, truthfully, that I have fought probably on one hand sorcerers in solos. Most classes that I fight still lean heavily towards like melee classes like Barb and Fighter and Rogue, and you see like the clerics running around a little bit less frequently. But regardless, I don't think I really was seeing a lot of sorcerers, generally speaking. So I'm a little bit... I'm not really sure how to react to this change. I think the nerfs are probably warranted. I think in the high end, Sorcerer probably was too strong. But I didn't really see a lot of people use it, so I think it's going to end up being like one of those like niche builds that not a lot of people use unless they're dedicated Sorcerer players. Frost Lightning after nerf still roots for 3 times the time of Ice Bolt and Ice Mastery. Definitely needed. No, yeah, I'm with you. I think Frost Lightning nerf was warranted. I think it's been long warranted. As long as they're dead now, should we go back to Shield or Slayer builds? You realize Shield is nerfed too, right? Rebo? Yeah, Sword and Shield is nerfed the same way Longsword is nerfed because of the Shield Mastery change. Because now if you block with a shield, your arming sword, for example, does not come out 50% faster like it used to. So the entire interaction is different. So if you're going to go that route, you should just play dual wield or Slayer. Plasma Blast dealing 50 damage is crazy because it's 100% scaling. So imagine another 10 on top of that with staff, then 50% increased damage. Yeah, but aren't you going to just kill yourself in the process, Fulgoon? Like, legitimately, aren't you just... Because I don't... As far as I know, there's no way to prevent the plasma from hitting yourself. So you're just going to end up killing yourself in the process anyway. Am I certain about that? I mean, I'm pretty sure. Shield Mastery now only applies to shields. I'm assuming at least. Do you read that differently? You know what? I can kind of see what you're saying now that I think about it. Maybe you're right. Maybe it will work towards the weapon. In my mind, I was thinking that they fixed the perk entirely, so the action speed only helped you with blocking with a shield. But honestly, you might be right. Maybe it still works with arming sword if you block with a shield. In my mind, I was thinking that because technically what the perk says is that it gives you 50% action speed towards your next block. It was never supposed to be for your weapon. Like, the description of the perk made no sense. So in my mind, I was thinking that they fixed the perk and they, did what it's supposed to do, which honestly is terrible because I don't know why you want to block 50% faster, because if you just keep blocking over and over again, you just... What's the point? It doesn't do anything. It's just bad. So neither of us know. There's no way to know for sure until the update comes out. I think it could work either way. You could be right. I could be right. You just got to test it out and see, because I don't know. I don't know if Iron Mace is changing the fundamentals of how the perk works, or if they're just making it so Longsword doesn't benefit from it. This is really on Iron Mace, not on us. It is 100% on Iron Mace for having a description that is not particularly clear, I would say. So I really don't know. I mean, either way, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Well, I mean, it'll matter, but, you know, the game will be up in... Well, the game will be up in an hour, so just wait an hour and we'll find out, pretty much. I'm not playing tonight, though. It's too late for me, but... Okay, anyway, so longsword counterattack, I talked about that earlier. So yeah, longsword got double nerf. They got the 50% action speed reduction on top of the damage reduction. So longsword users are probably in shambles now. Longbow damage decreased by 1 at all tiers. Does anybody else feel like range weapons always receive like a little like light slap on the wrist and then other shit gets nerfed like crazy? So longsword got nerfed by 0.15x damage, which is a big deal for riposte, and it also got nerfed by 50% action speed. And then like the counter to that, the melee variant, or you know what I mean, like compare the longsword nerf to longbow. Doesn't it feel like Iron Mace is always like very hesitant, like they're walking on eggshells around range damage? It's the second damage, yeah, but it only got nerfed by 1 damage both times. Longsword got a 50% action speed reduction on top of a 0.15x damage multiplier. So nerfing longbow by 1 damage twice is still significantly less than, say, 20 HP from Warlock demon form, or 5% projectile resistance for the spider perk that I've never used. You know, I'm just saying. I just think it's funny or strange that Iron Mace seems very hesitant on touching range damage, but they're more than willing to change anything in melee by like huge like numbers. That's it. You know. And also, like, it's not like longbow's a ranger change. It's all classes that use longbow. So, ranger, fighter. Wait, is that it? Ranger, fighter, bard uses survival. That's it, right? I think it's just 2 classes, unless I'm tripping. Because fighter has weapon mastery to use it. Yeah. I was thinking to myself, like, is there another class that could use longbow? I didn't think there was. Yeah, so it's not really a direct ranger nerf, it's more like a ranger and fighter nerf. But regardless, yeah, I do always think it's a little bit funny whenever stuff gets nerfed by like 1. Like, longbow is still gonna be insanely good, even at -1 damage. So I don't really know. I'm not like saying that longsword like should or should not have gotten nerf or whatever. I'm not like, this isn't a nerf argument here. I'm just stating the facts that it is funny that Iron Mace nerfs melee stuff way harder than range stuff, it feels like. That's all. Bard is in the gutter. You feel like Shriek should reduce percentage? Sophia, I gotta ask. They're in the gutter where? Because solo Bard is still strong. I literally am in the midst of making a Bard guide because I played Bard for like 5 hours and didn't die at all after killing a bunch of even geared players. Now this wasn't normals, but it was all blue gear, even gear. So it was all even fights. I mean, it was killing barbs, fighters, I mean, you name it. Like, Bard is, and that was without the Jolly Time, by the way. That's no Jolly Time abusing. That was just straight because Bard is actually pretty strong. And High Roller Bard is good too. I played High Roller Bard earlier in the season, and it was good. I don't know. I think there is a... I think it is a false... What's the word I'm even looking for? I think people do not give enough credit to bards. People act like bard is weak, and it's not weak. It's the same shit as rogues. I can't stand when people say, like, rogue is weak, when I don't think Rogue is like anywhere near weak. Like Bard is in the gutter in duos and trios. Bard is good in solos. Okay, you're gonna have to explain to me how solo and you're gonna have to explain to me how duo and trio Bard got nerfed from this update. How? The only update that happened is drinking ale, which is Jolly Time, which is basically abusing. As someone who used Jolly Time Bard, it is broken as shit. How much healing you can get, it basically breaks the game. How does this make duo and trio Bard useless? Because you have a teammate to cover you while you're healing. Bard should not be able to move at max movement speed and heal infinitely like they currently can. This is not a good mechanic for the game. As someone who plays Bard, or at least plays it on occasion throughout the season, I can tell you that both non-Ale Bard and Ale Bard are definitely good in solos. I don't play it in duos or trios, but I don't understand how this is hurting duo and trio Bard. I don't understand exactly how that's affecting it. It's less so specifically this update. You don't think Jolly Time should have been as good as it is, and you think Bard should not be balanced around it. I think it should be removed. Okay, so we're on the same page here then, Sophia, because I feel like Jolly Time Bard is such an oppressive build that you basically have to balance Bard around that perk, because if you don't, the class is just unkillable. When I played Bard, I fought a even geared wizard, and with Jolly Time, I was able to out-heal his spells, and he had no chance to kill me. There was nothing he could have done. And I guess you could argue, okay, like, I guess he has to take Fire Mastery that reduces healing, but I don't know, man. Like, the amount of, like, it's not even just, like, wizards, though. Like, any range damage. You know, Jolly Time is just such a big health recovery. I don't know. I feel like at least solo Bard is very, very good with Jolly Time. And again, even without Jolly Time, it's still good. I played Bard for at least 4 or 5 hours, and I had no issue getting kills with it. I mean, the video's not out yet. I gotta make it still, but you'll see it in the next, like, week. You know, you'll see that Bard is actually way better than I think people are giving it credit for. You know, I'm not just, like, talking out of my ass, you know? I actually play the class. I think it's very strong. So... do you think I'll do a luck video? Luck video doesn't really sound like my alley. That sounds more like something I'd leave the Glockdane. I don't know if I'd want to test out luck like that, to be honest. Falchion, you think it's well balanced? Plus 8 Fizz healing isn't enough in High Roller, so you have to give up rolls on Cape and Neck too? Okay, we might have different definitions of well balanced. I don't think anything in the game should heal you as much as Jolly Time was healing. Jolly Time is basically healing for Cleric lesser heals with no, like, campfire mechanic. It's basically an infinite use because Bards would just bring like 100 ale, so they would never run out. I don't think it is good for the game to allow a class to heal at the rate Bards were allowed to heal. I think it was too much. Bard balance hinges on how good it is at buffing or healing itself or kiting with Jolly Time, the same way Rogue is balanced around an invisibility and shredding through damage reduction. Yeah, no, I agree on that end too. I'm a big advocate for nerfing Rogue invisibility and then buffing other aspects of the class or rebalancing other aspects of the class to not make Rogue feel like a cheesy mechanic. Because, like, if you buff Rogue too much, you can't buff a class that has true invisibility too much, or it will literally break the game. You have to really walk a fine line to make sure Rogue is in check. And I feel like getting Rogue in check with more like perks and skills and all that in the future would be a lot easier if you're not balancing the game based on true invisibility. The same way that Bard should not have to be balanced around a perk as, frankly, that I think is as broken as Jolly Time was. I don't know if I agree with that. Fighter does still have things that they're good at. So, I made a fighter video guide last week, and I think that's genuinely a very strong build. So, if as a fighter, Adrenaline Rush is a very strong skill. Sprint is honestly pretty good too because of the movement speed nerfs. So, fighter is able to basically reach movement speed cap, which most classes are not able to do right now, except for maybe Barbarian with Rage. Most classes cannot get the speed that fighter is capable of. On top of that, the amount of action speed that fighter is able to get is way higher than anything else is able to get. Fighter in default gear, they get dual wield, sword mastery, which is 15% base action speed, and they get another 15 from Adrenaline Rush. So base action speed is 30% action speed. This is untrue. I literally have a video proving that it's not untrue. I mean, I don't really know what to tell you. Okay, you asked me what fighters can do, and I told you what they can do, and then your response was telling me that I'm wrong, and then saying that that's not what fighters should do. I'm telling you that fighter has a build that I play that is very strong, because they're able to abuse action speed and speed stacking, and they're able to kill many other players. I feel like you're calling me out for being wrong, but I literally play the class. You realize fighter is one of my most played classes too, right? I probably have, I guarantee you I have at least 800 hours in fighter, if not more. I play a lot of classes in this game. I mean, I have 4K total across every character. Fighter is one of my most popular. I probably have at least 800, if not higher. You're saying fighter doesn't have its own identity? Well, what do you want from fighter? What exactly do you... What even is fighter identity? Isn't that really person to person? What do you consider fighter's identity? Like sword and shield? Do you consider it longsword? Do you consider it dual? Like what I mean, I would consider a fighter to just kind of be like the jack of all trades, balance of none. Whatever that phrase is. Exactly what Jay actually said. I feel like fighter does very well at kind of doing everything. I'm not saying fighter is broken. He's not broken by any means. But to say that fighter is bad, or that like he doesn't, in your words, or what are your words? Well, you just responded to what I said, so whatever. But I mean, I'm just telling you. Well, also, fighter has defense mastery, which is the only class in the game that can go to 75% PDR. You could argue that 75% PDR is not good anymore because every class has a easy availability to armor penetration. But that's more of a gameplay design thing more than a fighter thing, because fighter technically does have a way to be more tanky than every other class in the game. No other class can go to 75 PDR. It's not possible. And 75 PDR compared to 65 is like an entire health pool of effective HP. The problem is there's so much mixed damage in. There's magic damage, there's armor pen, whatever. There's so much shit. Bonk Cleric can do it? No. Bonk Cleric can go to 65% PDR. 65 is the soft cap. You said you have 3,000 hours, so I know you have to know this. 65% is the soft cap to every class in the game. Fighter, Defense Mastery, as a perk, increases the PDR cap from 65 to 75 PDR. Technically speaking, Fighter is the most tanky class in the game. The problem is, in practice, it doesn't work the same way because there's so much other alternative damage in the game. So it doesn't like quite work the way that I think you want it to. Because every class either has armor pen or magic damage, so the 75 is not like really, it's not doing what it used to do in old playtests, where Fighter was basically unkillable. I'm talking like back when they could go to like 85, 95 PDR, like that crazy shit. You know, that ship is long sailed, you know. Yeah, THR, trust me. Divine Protect, because I literally just made a cleric guide. Like it'll be out tomorrow. Or I still have to like finish it. It's uploaded on my channel. I gotta like do the thumbnail and stuff. I just did a guide on it regardless. DP gives you 30% PDR. And it caps at 65%. You cannot go above it. There's no way to go above. Sophia, you said by in the gutter, you meant that you have to build very specific and expensive to compete with other classes in their space. Like Fighter as viable builds, Barba's things. Sophia, I wish I could show you. I wish the game was open. At least in normals. I know the balance in normals is not like exactly the same because like it's higher gear. But in normals, in blue gear versus blue gear, I never felt like I was at a disadvantage against another class. Again, my Bard went 5 hours without dying. I had no issue whatsoever. And it wasn't gear diffing, it was even gear, you know? So I don't think Bard I don't think Bard has like the same issues as to what you think they do, I guess. I mean, perhaps it's... I mean, I do have a lot of... I know, like, my gameplay might not be exactly the best example for the game, because not every player out there has 4,000 hours on Dark and Darker. So not everybody can, you know, not everybody is going to be able to just pick up a class and play it the same way that I can. It's just not going to happen, because Dark and Darker honestly does have a pretty high skill ceiling. But I would consider my Bard to be pretty weak. You know, I don't think I'm a good Bard player. So I kind of feel like if I can play Bard at the level that I can, I think a lot of other players can probably do it too. You know, it might just take, you know, it might just take some practice. Also, I cheese Bard anyway. I use Encore. I can't stand the music mechanics. You know, I ran Encore Bard and was doing just fine. And that's technically weaker. Encore Bard doesn't even have access to the other 5 songs. So I wasn't using Shriek. I wasn't using, like, any of the other shit. I was only using the 4 buff songs. You know, movement speed, action speed, whatever. Everything but armor. And then I used Lament because of the -10 movement speed. I never even touched Shriek of Weakness. I don't think you need it. Bard, like, PvP, Shriek is actually not as good as people think it is. It's only 3% PDR. It's not that high. You don't need it, you know? Apparently headshot bonus was still going past 50. That is funny. I didn't know that, Falchion. I had no idea. Yeah, I saw that patch note, and I guess they tried to fix it, but it went unchanged. You think Bard is one of the weaker classes overall? Is it really, though? Is it really, Jay? Am I just like, am I out of touch with like the average gameplay of the community? Because I use Bard for an entire stream, and I really had no issues using the class. Like, the survival bow is strong. You don't need Ale. I didn't use Ale, you know? I really don't think Bard is weak. I would, on even with the Jolly Time nerf, I would still rate Bard in like the upper tier of classes. Also, I'm not, and again, like I said earlier, I'm not even that good of a Bard player. I consider myself on the lower tier of Bard because I use Encore, which is clearly not BIS. It's obviously better to run 10 songs. So I put myself at a handicap by not playing the game because I hate Bard, and I still think the class is strong. The Barb should beat you in melee, though. The Barb doesn't have access to a bow like the Bard does. So if Barbarian was not beating Bard in a 1v1 straight-on fight, if the Bard did no range damage, then that means Barbarian is garbage ass. Because Barbarian is a strictly melee class. The fact that Bards have a bow, you're supposed to use it. You're like, in part, a utility class. You have Lament to make people lose 10 movement speed, and then you have a survival bow. Like, I killed Barbarians. You just have to play. You just have to. That's just the point of the class. If you want to play a class that only melees, then you should play Barb. But you should not expect Barbarian to lose in a one-on-one fight against a class that has access to range damage. Like, as a Bard, you 100% have access with the 10 movement speed loss and survival bow to kite and damage the Barbarian like 2 or 3 times. That's all you need. And you can straight stat check them. Or you could use a doorway. Most Barbarians use big weapons like Bardiche, for example. Even Quarterstaff is garbage in doorways. Bard has a rapier. So if you just sit in a door and fight a Barbarian, they're not going to do shit to you. What are they going to do? I really feel like people just don't play the class properly, and they look at other classes that like can play easier. Like, obviously Barb is easier to play than Bard, but I think it's like wrong to claim that Bard is on the weaker end when the class just requires a little bit more like skill to play. But when you learn how to play the class, it's really strong, you know? Yeah, like, all of Barbarian's weapons suck indoors. All of them do. Zwei, Bardiche, Quarterstaff, all terrible in doorways. I mean, yeah, I guess if Barbarian has Whirlwind, they can do the door, but most Barbs aren't really running Whirlwind, so I don't really know how much that's, like, really a talking point or not. I guess you could make the argument that they could use Whirlwind, but I don't really ever see them use it anymore, so I don't really know. Any chance you can put up the combined chat on screen? You know, I consider doing a combined chat. I've gone back and forth on it. Some people have asked me to not do it because they like to watch streams on full screen and they don't want chat like going on the screen. I don't really know. I wasn't really sure whether to do it or not. I've had this conversation a few times though about like whether to combine the chats or not. I play HR as well. Yeah, you definitely. I hope you're not inferring that I only play normals, because most of my time this season has been spent in High Roller, and I played Bard in High Roller earlier in the season. To say that I base everything off normals is ridiculous. I play more HR than normals, except for the past like week, because I was making those beginner guides. I mean, I literally played HR for like a month and a half. So I do base my play on HR. That is true. That it would be good for patch streams. Yeah, maybe I'll figure out how to do it, and I'll use them for patch streams and like discussion streams, and then if people like it, then I could always consider trying it for other streams too. You said I spent 5 hours in normals on Bard. Yeah, but I don't judge Bard based on only normals because I also played HR as well. If you look on my channel, you'll see a HR Bard video that I made from like a month or so ago. So I've played Bard in both normals and High Roller. So my opinion is based on both, just to be clear. Patch will be up at 3 o'clock. We have about 40 minutes or something like that. I'll be in bed only a bit. During the swipe? Yeah. Yeah, during the swipe, Sergeant. Yeah. Yeah, I'll link you the video if you want. I mean, I'm not lying to you. I promise I played Bard in HR. Let's see. Where's it at? Yeah, it was a month ago. Unless I'm tripping, I'll double check that it was High Roller. If it was normals, I'll concede. But I'm pretty sure it was High Roller. Yep. There's no kill feed. It indeed was High Roller. Here you go. Yeah, trust me, Walker, I am very what's the word? I'm very versed? I don't know. I don't know what word to use, but I've played basically every single class in both normals and high roller. I understand that balance might not always be exactly 1-for-1, but yeah, I've played Bard in both normals and HR, and I definitely feel like the class is strong in both spots. And again, I feel like I'm a weaker Bard overall. So I think anyone who is good at Bard or good in a way that I am not would just be even better there. I have no idea. Iron Mace hasn't given me or us any info on what these obsidian crafts are going to be, but they said weapons, right? Obsidian weapons, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so I don't think any armor, looks like. Wipe is 28th? Wait, does it say that? Oh, I didn't read the bottom. But let me read this. I should have read this. We are happy to announce the date for the upcoming season. Early access season 9 will start on April 28th. Okay, we do have a date. I wish I wish I read that earlier. Adventurers will have up until the 27th to progress to adventure ranks and earn newly revealed season rewards. April 27th will be your final day to earn religion offerings. Arena combatants will have until April 19th to finalize their arena MMR and earn rewards. For the remaining arena weekends, we've updated the matchmaking to be more lenient with friends to form teams. We've updated the arena warlord to remove duplicate characters to get more accurate account of top players. We also have several events planned. Starting April 16th, we'll introduce some limited time changes to ramp up riches and dungeon. We'll also be opening the arena for the first week of season. We'll also be opening the arena mode for the final, I thought I said first, for the final week of the season with upgraded gear limits so you can put those newly found riches to use. Something tells me they're gonna let artifacts in arena again. Did they do that before? Where artifacts could be used in arena? I feel like that might end up being a thing again. Hard to say though. I wouldn't be surprised. In the meantime, this update brings some changes to the Squire to Riches mode in preparation for further strengthening its role as a battle mode. We'll be looking forward to your feedback to adjust the balance and mold it into its own standalone mode. There you go. So April 28th is the new wipe dates. You were trying to think of what weapons that don't have of crafted options. Arming Sword, Magic Staff, Rondell. Yeah, there's definitely a few weapons out there that don't have any crafts. You know what's unfortunate, though? Isn't it kind of lame that some of these crafted items don't come until so late in the season? So basically, the obsidian is only going to get used for like the last month of wipe, which is clearly, you know, the player count is way lower than it was, than it was a few weeks ago. It would have been kind of nice to have a lot of this stuff earlier in the season, so we could have used it when like more people were around. You know, I don't know. Anyone else kind of feel that way? Like you would like to see some of this crafted stuff released earlier and not like at the end of the season? Well, you know, that ale nerf is a slight nerf to my cleric too. Because I was definitely using ale as cleric in ways where I was usually pretty close to players. So I'm gonna have to be a little bit more careful when I'm playing cleric now to make sure I don't like goof that up. Because there's a lot of muscle memory there on using ale as cleric in fights. And I'll have to make sure I don't like mess it up now. You want them to remove Jolly Time and give Barb more options. They've been nerfed the last 3 years. The only buff you can think was undoing the nerf to rapier weapon damage. I mean, I don't really know. I don't see the thing is, Sophia, the balance between solos, duos, and trios is definitely very different. I don't know how good Bard is in duos and trios because I just don't play there. I only know that Bard feels good in both normals and HR in solos. That's all I know. Oh, the workshop is a big load of BS. It's too expensive. It's not reasonable for the average player to ever use it. The workshop feels like an overhyped waste of time until they nerf it properly, or they bring it down to like a normal person level. It should not cost 100,000 gold to level up one workshop, and it's like 500k, I think, for all of them. It's really silly. And a lot of that's raw gold, too. Just straight up gold costs. It's insane. The sync is unreal. You know, workshop still costs like 120k per workshop, right? So it costs like 500,000 gold to level up all your workshops. That's absurd. Okay, Jeff, we might have different definitions of cheaper. Because, yeah, technically it's cheaper, but who the hell in the community is going to be able to afford 500,000 gold on workshop upgrades? That's basically reserved for, like, the top 1% of players. Like, who the hell can afford that? That's insanely expensive. The workshop should be something that, like, helps the average player to catch up with crafting to like the more efficient players. How are they supposed to do that if the crafting is so expensive? I mean, yeah, if you look at it that way, you could either upgrade your workshop fully, or you could buy, yeah, like you could buy like 8 to 10 death plumes. That is funny. That's a good way to look at it. You know what else would be nice? I think workshop should not workshop. I think you should be able to scrap in dungeon. I think while you're looting and opening up chests, there should be like a 3 to 5 second option to break down a piece of gear or weapon and turn it into scrap. That way, when you're looting, you can turn all the unused garbage into usable gear that like stacks kind of nicely in your inventory. I actually think that would be very nice. Okay, Jeff, you're thinking in the mind of a veteran player. The average player is not flipping blues into bis purples to flip them on the market for crazy money. That's not something the average player is doing. I don't know if you've noticed, Jeff, but this game has had a really hard time in maintaining and getting new players to actually play this game. So, no, it doesn't matter if the workshop is something that you're able to use. The player count has still been falling steadily. We need a way to actually get new players to be interested in this game. And a way to do that is not by making them pay 500,000 gold for workshop upgrades. I mean, like, you're thinking of the mindset of a veteran player, not of the mindset of someone who's actually new. This game is not going to last if every update we get is only for sweats, because eventually the sweats are gonna burn out, and it's gonna keep happening. It's just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep losing thousands of players every update until there's no one left. We need updates that are actually good for new players. We desperately need them. It is very, very important that we get updates for this game that are accessible for all players, you know? You think the idea of breaking down gear into scraps is a good change? The hardest part about the workshop is getting scraps. Yeah, I think the scrap breaking down is a good start, but I still think the workshop should not be so expensive. I do think that if you could scrap down stuff during the matches, it would be a lot more achievable for the average player. Because realistically, sweats are not really scrapping gear. Most of the sweats are just PvPing anyway, or boss rushing. So the only player that is benefiting from that change is, well, all players are benefiting early wipe, and then towards like middle end wipe, it's only the people that are like actually looting, which is usually only the new players anyway. I haven't looted a chest in forever at this point. I mean, most of my time that I play on this game is just PvPing. And a lot of the veteran players do the same thing. They either rush bosses or they rush PvP. So I think the scrapping idea would be really nice for those players to try to get them into the game more. In your opinion, gemming in the market made the game less accessible? I would highly disagree with both of those statements. I don't think that is true. Gemming allows new players to use gear that is significantly better than they would ever be able to hope to achieve without being able to gem. For example, if additional damage on rings was completely bought out by people with millions of gold, there would be no way to get those rings if you could not gem socket them. The fact that gem socketing is a thing allows way more gear into the market and allows average players to purchase that stuff way cheaper than it otherwise would be. That also goes with saying things like action speed, dex, vigor, all that BS that needs to be upgraded for your gear, like the meta stats, as I would put it. All that stuff is way more achievable by buying a 70 gold blue gem or a 200 gold purple gem than it would be to try to pay crazy prices against veteran players. Also, Marketplace is better for casuals than people give it credit for. What happens if there's no market is veteran players spend way more time in dungeon, they perfect and build bissed out gear, and then they never lose it because everybody that they're killing is running around in like hobbled garbage. Because without a marketplace, it's way harder to compete. I was running like bissed out Barbarian gear before the market opened, and most people I killed were in like trash like greens and blues that just got stat checked, and they had like no chance. This was in High Roller also. Yeah, the additional marketplace allows way more people to have gear. I just don't agree with either of those. Okay, the problem is if you have the game like that where the ceiling, or yeah, if you have a game like that where the veteran players are basically unkillable, because they're spending so much time in the game, you're again amplifying the problem that no one can compete in your game, and the new players and average players quit. Okay, but to claim that you can't kill someone that's running like +3 stat gear in like 1 or 2 is ridiculous. I run budget type gear all the time and kill very geared players. I've been doing it for years. That's more of a skill thing than anything else. They're not unkillable. But without marketplace, they're barely even gonna be running gear that's even like that. Especially with this like ring and necklace change. How the hell are average players supposed to craft rings and necklaces with the crafting requirements now? That's more of a dedicated player thing. That's not an average player thing at all. Okay, well, wanting to have a significant advantage to the point where you're basically immortal against new players is how the game dies. No marketplace means that the veteran players like myself are going to be running gear that is completely unobtainable by any new player, and we are just going to steamroll High Roller, because that's exactly what I did before the marketplace opened. I mean, I'm just saying, I was one of the few people that were running jewelry in High Roller, and it gave me such a massive advantage over people that weren't running it in High Roller that the advantage I had was crazy. Like, what the hell were they supposed to do? I don't want the game to just be stat check city because I play the game more. Marketplace evens the player ground way more to allow players with less time than me to actually build kits and be able to fight. Because it almost feels like you're asking and saying that you want to Timmy stomp. Because if you want to just have a distinct, clear advantage on new players, like the new players are not just gonna go, okay, well, I died, let me just re-kit again. If you kill them enough times, they just quit the game for good. Like, yeah, of course it's a gear-based game, and you're gonna have an advantage with gear. We already have that in the current state of the game. I mean, I just showed you that Warlock kit that I made. That's very strong. But the thing is, I'm definitely killable in that kit because everyone else has access to market. And even with, like, budget gear, you can easily build kits that are able to compete with that, you know? Honestly, I think that requiring the amount of materials that it needed for rings and necklaces was a huge mistake on Iron Mesa's part. The game needs to be more accessible to new players, not less accessible. You know? Like, a lot of these changes that they've done, the workshops costing hundreds of thousands of gold, the jewelry being really expensive to craft, like those kind of changes are only hurting the new player / casual player experience. And God knows we need them, man. This game is hurting for new players. Well, Sophia, saying that gemming and market is bad for the game because of that, you're arguing the wrong thing. What you're actually saying is that the problem is that the game doesn't teach new players what the hell they're doing. I already went over this in the another stream I did last week. There was a whole tangent I went on about the fact that Dark and Darker does a terrible job at teaching new players what the hell they're doing. Part of why I started making those beginner guides on my channel, because I can guarantee you most people that are watching those beginner guides would have zero idea of what the hell they were doing with the stats if they weren't, like, getting it from somewhere, whether it was from me or another YouTuber or whatever. The game doesn't teach you shit. It doesn't teach you anything. You know, the game isn't going to teach you stat thresholds and what kind of, like, stuff to build on your gear. It doesn't teach you any of that. You got to learn it on your own. And the problem is, not only are you trying to, like, learn all this shit, you're also trying to fight these veteran players like me that have 4,000 hours in the game. So like my combat is better, my gear is better, my skills, everything is better that I'm doing. And you're sitting there trying to like learn how to play the game on top of being worse at combat than me. So it's like this huge hill you're trying to climb on, you know? I mean, really, it's a disservice that Dark and Darker did not get a legitimate fleshed out tutorial a year ago, 2 years ago. It is, like, legitimately, it is terrible for the game that we never got a real tutorial. And at this point, I'm so scared it's gonna be too late. It sucks. I want this game to succeed. I think it's very fun. It's one of my favorite games, obviously. SDF did very well at trying to kill the game off. Paul is back trying to pick up the pieces. If we are somehow able to start going up in player count, I think the way that we're doing that is by making the game more accessible to new players on top of advertising. Because even if you advertise the game, people aren't just gonna like magically come and show up, you know? They need to, I guess, well, they'll come from advertising, but they're not gonna stay. You need the game to be accessible enough to these new players that they go, oh, this is pretty fun, I'm gonna keep playing. You know, Arc Raiders, I think, is almost, it's too casual for me. Like, gear almost doesn't make enough of a difference there for me personally. But, there has to be some kind of middle ground here, you know? Surely Iron Mace could do a better job at trying to teach the average player what they're doing, you know? Gear and Arc is 100% a difference. Not as much as Dark and Darker, though. Arc Raiders may have some form of gear checking, but I definitely don't think it's nearly as much as Dark and Darker gear checking. Go throw on a 75% PDR fighter kit and then go fight a naked bard. And then tell me that that kind of shit is the same as Arc Raiders. Because that's definitely not true. I'm pretty sure I could play AFK for 45 seconds and then come back and still kill that bard when he's trying to kill me. With 75 PDR, he's probably doing like 1% of my health per swing. Yeah, I think jewelry's only dropped in two. Is it 1 or 2 spaces? The only one I know of is the rusty key. I don't know where the second one is. I just know it's not in Goblin Gives because they hate us. Yeah. Well, you know, Dungeon Board had a lot of these issues too. We're talking about like the veteran players stomping new players into the ground. Dungeon Board had it even worse than this game did. In Dungeonborn, like there was a marketplace, but that wasn't the problem. The problem is that gear stacks so high in Dungeonborn that you could just completely shred and wreck anybody that didn't have like the proper gear. Anyone that played like against like on like the pre-nerf cryo, pre-nerf dual wield DK, all that like bullshit. Yeah, there was so much stuff in that game that new players couldn't even hope to compete with. How do you whisper to another player in down? I honestly, I don't even know. I don't ever whisper. I think you can like right click their name or something, but I think there's a privacy setting. So it might not let you unless you're friends with them. Yeah, Squire to Riches, the change is interesting. Because now in Squire to Riches, where's it at? you won't be able to just like leave instantly. You'll have to actually make it out of Inferno. I'm curious how that ends up being. Should be interesting. Might be fun. To whisper someone, you slash W and then put their name. Oh, it's the same as WoW? Okay. Yeah, I actually didn't know that. What game comes first? You saw my Dungeonborn video and saw it has a lot of same things as that. What do you mean, what game comes first? Like, what one do I like more? Well, I have a way longer history with Dark and Darker than I do Dungeonborn. I have 4K hours in Dark and Darker, and I only have 500 on Dungeonborn. I mean, even average players can gem gear for normals. Blue, like, last I checked, unless it's gone up, blue sapphires are like 70 gold. Like 100 gold. So, you can make a kit in normals for what, like, with gem socketing? You can make it pretty cheap. And honestly, I think you have it, like, mixed. Gemming is not max gear. Gemming is always, like, sub-max. True max gear has to be bought from the marketplace for very large amounts of money. Like, for example, a ring can roll 4 fizz power, but you can't gem 4 fizz power. You can only gem 2 to 3 fizz power, and it's a range. It's random. So, if you truly want normals BIS, you have to go to the market and pay really high prices for it. So now you're telling me you want to make it so average players can't gem because you think the gap is too large? Okay, so now I'm going to grab 4 fizz power rings, and I'm going to be at an even bigger advantage than I was before, because now I will have, 4 fizz damage rings, and you're going to have, like, garbage or nothing, right? Because you don't want to be able to, like, socket. Like, that doesn't really make sense either. Because now you're just putting yourself at a bigger disadvantage. You're actually hurting new players more. Because, again, the veteran players are not hurt by gem. Gem socketing is not just a veteran player a mechanic. Veteran players can just buy the shit off the marketplace. Or, if there's no market, they just farm it themselves. It's harder to get? What do you mean it's harder to get? Like, the whole point is that you're trying to close the gap between average players and or you're trying to close the gap between veterans and casuals. The guy that plays 10 hours a day doesn't give two shits if you limit socketing and normals. He will just either farm the gear or he'll buy it off the market, whichever option is available. He doesn't need to socket to get BIS or to get, like, quote unquote BIS. All you're doing is making the gap wider between veterans and casuals. You're just making it harder for casuals to kill the veteran player because the veteran is still going to have that same gear and the casuals will not because they can't afford it. Also, budget gear is more than good enough to kill anybody in, like, BISed out gear, and that's normals and high roller. To say that you cannot kill a BISed out player in normals or HR with average gear is lying, because I've done it this season in multiple videos I've posted. You can easily socket cheap budget gear and use it to kill BIS players. You absolutely can. You saw Cyclops is the same as in Dad Blue? Yeah. I mean, neither of them are original. They're both just store-bought assets. It is funny that they were the same, though. Definitely got some laughs out of that. I am a little bit curious. Yeah, so luck has been fixed if anybody missed that. So luck was apparently 10% better than it was supposed to be. Glocking's gonna have to do another video. I don't know how that's gonna be, but yeah, apparently luck is maybe good now, so we'll see if that gets used. Yeah, but the issue of new players not having the knowledge to socket and what to buy, that's not a socketing issue. That is a gameplay issue, not teaching players how to gem socket. So this is like maybe not the best example, but I'll use it anyway. If any of you have ever played like a mobile game, mobile games are like the most hand-holdy bullshit you've ever played. Like, you can't play for 5 seconds without some stupid ass like arrow or some shit popping up on your screen telling you to like click here, click here. Like, yeah, like the Diablo Immortal or whatever that game was. If you ever played any mobile game, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that Dark and Darker needs to have a mobile interface. I don't want that bullshit in the game. But there's literally zero tutorial whatsoever for these new players, and they don't know what they're doing. Like, Iron Mace, like, there's no tutorial to teach you how to do the Squire, how to gem socket, what the workshop is. It's all just, like, hidden, you know? I don't know. Is it true that you can reroll the stats on workshop even if you use gems? Yeah, they changed how it works. I haven't used the workshop at all, but that's just because it was kind of expensive. I didn't really want to pay 500,000 gold to operate the workshop. I just didn't bother. I just PvP pretty much, so I just didn't really care. But I think you are right. I think you can get around the gemming stuff. You somewhat learn from me. You just build blue gear and fight to death, win or lose. Yeah, I've been trying my best with the video guides that I've made. I have it's not public yet, but this video here. This is my cleric guide. I don't even have a thumbnail yet. This is the raw video. You know, this here is, oh my god, it's so pixelated. Yeah, this you know, this is the kind of stuff that you like that new players need to know. Here, I'll show this a little bit. If this isn't like available yet to public, this is only through me. So like, for example, let's see if I can find something. Let's talk about the PDR real quick. Let me see. I think I talk about stats here. Let's see, where do I talk about divine protection? There's smite. Although for this build, also smite is one of health effectively. Like health pool with 85%, we are going to get lantern has armor on it. So tell me how many people are ever gonna know something like this? Really, I'm really close to 35%. You just don't see it and get 60 in the stat window. And with that 35%, we are going to get 65 or equal to 3 times our effective. So how many people are gonna know that divine protection gives you 30% flat PDR, and that if you build for 35% PDR, you can use this to get maximum PDR, which is 65. The game doesn't tell you that 65 is even the max PDR. Also, I would bet you that most players don't even know that 65% PDR is effectively 3 times your total health pool. Like, there's multiple things here that I know for a fact most people are never gonna have any freaking idea. You know? Like, shit like this is, you know... Oh, the game's live? Okay, well, I'm going to bed soon. However, I can load up the game real quick. Here, give me a second. I'm not gonna play any games, though. It's too late. It's like 3 in the morning. So... I don't think I'll be able to craft the obsidian weapons, though. Because I don't have... most of my quests aren't done. I'm not sure if I'll have them unlocked. Most streamers aren't trying to help new players. They make endgame content, which isn't bad, but it isn't good for new players. Gate, that is literally why I started making new content. I said the same exact thing. I said almost every streamer this isn't a bad thing, but most people making content for this game are only making endgame content. You're talking HR, you know, artifacts, all this other BS. No one's really making guide videos anymore. Not that I've really seen. So, yeah, I've noticed the same thing. Which, again, that's not like a call-out. I'm not saying the other streamers are bad for not doing that. It's just an observation I've noticed, you know? I don't know why this screen's black. Hello? Alright, just give me a minute. Game's loading, it's probably why. Okay, so what did you want to see? The obsidian crafts? Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show them. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that is going to happen. Unless they show up on the... Oh my god, we're so early. There's no one in trade post. It's funny. We're so early. My game loads 10 times faster than yours, does it really? Yeah, I guess. I don't really know. I thought it loaded slow. This is an obsidian bardiche. Let's see. Bardiche. Yeah, here it is. Quick. Someone put an obsidian bardiche on the marketplace so I can see it. I'm not aware of a way to look at it, unfortunately. Unless there's yeah, I don't think there's any way that I can get access to those. The old guides are outdated because every patch makes the game so different. A lot of guides are how to kill bosses or streamers like Repose doing 0 to hero. But new players watch them aren't really taught much. I mean, that is true. Patches do change a lot very quickly. You're not wrong. But I mean, the guides that I made are all recent enough that all of them are relevant. The Sorcerer guide, the Fighter guide, and the whatever other one I made. I forget. Which one did I make? I don't remember. I made 3 guides. They all should be like relevant at the moment. Click on Obsidian. Oh, smart. Obsidian, Bardiche. Click on filter. Looks like projectile damage reduction is the stat. Oh, here we go. Okay, Obsidian Bardiche, it's projectile damage reduction, it looks like. Hey, thank you, Turax, for the sub, by the way. I appreciate that. Obsidian Morningstar. No, that doesn't exist. Okay, just the Bardiche is up, but at least we got to see one of them. Wait, there's obsidian clothes? Oh, wait, there are obsidian clothes. Yeah, like, look. Obsidian arcane hood? Hook? Wait, you know what? I bet you that's why they nerfed that fighter skill. Or that fighter perk. Because fighter got nerfed. They nerfed, this. This, projectile resistance. They nerfed it from 15 to 10%. I wonder if they did that because of the obsidian crafts. They were afraid it was going to be broken in arena. You were going to have like 50% projectile resistance or something. Guaranteed. It's always arena. If you ever wonder why they balance something, just look at arena and you'll have your answer. Because I have never once used projectile resistance this season. I didn't even know that, like, it was considered good by Iron Mace. But I now understand why they nerfed it, because they nerfed it due to obsidian crafts. Guaranteed. They were probably afraid of fighters stacking 75 PDR and then blocking against the ranger and then taking, like, no damage, I guess. Oh no, it's okay. Longbow got nerfed by 1 damage. No problem. So yeah, the longbow now should be what, like 33 for 32 for white now instead of 33. Yeah, 1 damage nerf. Obsidian cloak. Yeah, unfortunately we're just a little bit too early. Well, we'll have to check tomorrow when the market starts getting flooded with obsidian crafts, because I am curious what the stats are. I don't really know. Like I wonder like what other stat does cloak have? I'm like, hopefully it's not just projectile reduction, or that sounds terrible. Obsidian ore dropped by 50%. Yeah, because people are buying it based on the gear being good, and then they just saw that it's garbage. Yeah, I don't think projectile resistance is a great stat, so I'm not surprised. Static? Okay. Armor rate, oh, it's knowledge. So knowledge is base. I don't think season rewards have been showed yet. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think the demon nerf is good. Oh, I want to check my barb too, because my barb got nerfed as well. Well, although remember, every class got buffed by 10 HP as well, so my barb should be pretty beefy now. My barb is at 177 in blues. I think I was at 170. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, because I remember I said that robust would lose me 3 health, but I would gain 7 extra. Or 10, but then like 7 difference. So yeah, like my rogue default should be 109 now instead of 99. I'm pretty sure. I mean, that would make sense. I mean, I would assume that's the case. I don't know why it wouldn't be. Yep. 109 base for rogue now. You can keep bluestone shards. Yeah, they don't reset. You can save them for whenever you want. You don't have to use them this season. Arena words are showing. I'm gonna be real with you. I haven't played a single game of Arena. I don't even know how to look at Arena rewards. I don't know. How do you look at them? Oh, here? Oh, I see. So it's just a frame. Yeah. The torch and a frame. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really care about this too much. I have no FOMO whatsoever in a frame and a torch. So yeah, I don't really care about that. I'm glad I didn't like worry. Yeah, Jolly Time got nerfed. Well, I mean, you can't see it. Like you won't see the nerf. But it was toned down quite a bit. Yeah, so Jolly Time is still here. Like the perk says the same thing. But now when you drink ale, the movement speed is similar to drinking a potion. So you don't have like the super fast speed that ale used to have. Demigod is out too. Oh, is the demi reward out too? Oh. It's a bandage. It's a cool looking bandage. In previous seasons, didn't we get like an overhaul though? Like here, I'll give you an example. Back in the day, when we got skins like for potions, it affected like every potion in the game. Like Troll's Blood, Like, every potion got affected. I feel like it would have been nice to see a little bit more than just the bandage affected. You know? Maybe like a set of, maybe like all the healing items could have had a corrupted look to them, you know? I don't know. Just an idea. I wonder what the imp is gonna do stat-wise, because it doesn't say. Yeah, there's no stat on it. Oh, my camera? Oh, here, I'll move it. I didn't realize it was blocking the bandage. I got you. There you go. That's the bandage. Yeah, sorry. Forgot it was blocking it. Season 1, we got the Starry. Oh my god, that shit is ugly. I don't use it. Yeah, this stuff. Yeah, it, like, in practice, in dungeon, it looks so terrible. I thought it looked so cool at first, and then I realized in game it just looks like little like white specks. It's kind of bad. I don't like it too much. I don't use it. Yeah, no, the bandage doesn't look bad. I kind of wish it was like a set of healing items and not just a bandage. Like, it would have been cool if it was all my healing items looked corrupted, you know? I just thought that would have looked cool. Well, that is fair. Yeah, you do use a lot of bandages. At the very least, it's a commonly used item, unlike torch skins, since I very rarely ever use torches. So, yeah, I can get down with that. I don't have crafted. I don't have quest done, but I can already tell you the crafted is pretty bad. So, the crafted items are just projectile reduction. It's not great. I don't really know who's going to be using this stuff, but I imagine not very many people will bother. Yeah, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping it would be something a little bit cooler. Yeah, no, none of my vendors are high enough level to show that stuff, unfortunately. Yeah. I'm like maxed out on like the second tier. Getting a Voyager? Yeah, so well, I mean, I'm curious what the skin's gonna look like in full. I don't think we have an imp. I think that's a new skin, like it's not like a reskin. I don't think we have that skin yet at all. So, I'm curious what it'll look like. Unique diamonds? Oh, I couldn't tell you. I can't look at the crafting, but that would be, but my guess is, yeah, it probably requires something like that. Yeah, it would kind of fit Crypts, eh? Oh my god. Do you think it's gonna be like a dwarf skin? Iron Base is gonna go full in on like the dwarf skins. So it's gonna be like -10 movement speed and no one's gonna use it. Oh man. Maybe. It's gonna be half the size of a dwarf and it's gonna be -30 movement speed. They're gonna see how far they can take it until people are running around as a permanent rat. Perfect. Yeah, I guess that's fair. For Arena, Obsidian Bardiche is strictly better, since the normal Epic Bardiche is the same stats, just no projectile resistance, so technically speaking, Obsidian is a benefit, but I think only for Arena. I don't think you would ever use an obsidian bardiche for like a real crafted kit. I just don't see why you would bother. Because it's gonna be so expensive getting a good roll. I would only really worry about it for like a good arena kit. I don't think we're getting pregnant goblin skins, sorry. I don't think so. There is obsidian dark plate armor. Yeah. Yeah, I said earlier, I think the reason that they nerfed fighters perk is because they were afraid that fighters would stack too much projectile resistance and break the game. I'm pretty sure, at least. Yeah, you'll have to wait till tomorrow. Most of the obsidian crafts aren't available yet, and I can't craft them, so I can't show them. It looks like there's a ton of obsidian items, though. I mean, you can see here on the left side, like all these different items you can craft. Minus 30 speed, but teleports. Could you imagine if the imp skin allowed you to teleport, but it had a crazy movement speed penalty? I don't think that would be balanced. Not as a skin. Probably not. There's a shadow mask. Yeah, they have obsidian everything. How come in the notes it only said weapons? I'm surprised they didn't just say like gear in general. Obsidian ore was like 350 gold, and now it's already down to 200 after people saw its projectile resistance. People were yeah, you're gambling that it was going to be something really good. People probably lost a lot of money from that. Can we check what classes can use them? I mean, I could, but it's gonna be kind of hard to do it one by one. Here, look, we could check, like, Trapper Hat. Can we do that? Barbarian Ranger. I think that's standard, right? Let's see. How about Dark Plate? I wonder if Cleric can use that. Nope. Yeah, because, like, Cleric can use Ruby Silver, Fine Cuirass. But it looks like that is not available. Yeah, it looks like the classes are unchanged. Can Bard use Obsidian Chapelle? I doubt it. No. Yeah, it looks like Obsidian is completely unchanged from the base classes, unless there's some out here that I'm not seeing. I wonder if any of the weapons are open for different classes. That would be interesting. Although... yeah, I doubt it. I doubt there's any weapons that are allowed. Be very surprised. Shadow Mask Sork. Oh, yeah. Shadow Mask. Is that, what's that normally? Yeah, you're right. Sorcerer can now use Shadow Mask. If you so choose. You know what, though, Foxman? That sure is gonna be expensive. Unless Obsidian ends up being really cheap. Because crafting gear is always way more pricey. But I guess for Arena, if for whatever reason you want to use Shadow Mask, you could do it that way. I guess for the drip, yeah. The innate stat for Obsidian is projectile damage reduction. Champion armor. Oh yeah, Obsidian champion as well. Same old though. Dark Warlock. No, Obsidian plummeted. It went from 350 to 200 since the patch went up. Obsidian full tunic? Oh, I see what you're saying. Because if Obsidian full tunic is plate, then Warlock can use them. There's no way to know. Wait, can we know? I don't think there is a way to know. No, it's not. It's leather. Nope. Nope. They coded it right. Surprisingly. Projectile damage or not shit. Relapse, they might be. They might be. Yeah, if anybody here was saving obsidian ore, you just got cooked, so sorry. Sorry. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, so basically obsidian is pretty it's pretty whatever. Yeah, the arena awards are out, but they're nothing special. Well, I don't think they are, at least. It's just like frames. Frames in a skin. So, if you care about that thing, sure, but I don't really care about... I have so many damn torch skins in this game, I don't really care about that too much. Your friend bought 2 tabs of Cyclops rags? What are Cyclops rags used for? I don't really remember. Oh my god, they're 100 gold apiece. Dude, they... Alright. Let's talk... Before I go to bed, can I just say that bossing in this game feels, like, very boring? Does anybody else feel like bossing is just kind of, like, whatever? I feel like a lot... Like, the only real bosses that even drop loot is, like, Ghost King. And then, like, the other bosses, like, you can, like, go fight Wyvern or whatever, but I feel like the player griefing that can happen when bossing, like, for example, when you're going down solo to fight Ghost King, and someone just runs in during the suck phase and just griefs your gear, I feel like bossing is not fun at all. And bosses like Cyclops have no drops. There's no drops. Who here is killing Cyclops and going, oh yes, got my Cyclops rags? Like there's nothing that Cyclops is even dropping that I care about. It's just a bunch of garbage. I mean, the troll, at least troll like has like the troll pelts, but as troll pelts, you know, reduce in cost, you know, even troll pelts are kind of like, it's like, oh cool, I got some money. It's just, it's nowhere near as exciting as, like, Ghost King. But then, like, Ghost King and all the other bosses are so, like, griefed. It's not even fun. There's so many issues. The drops don't feel fun unless you, like, get an artifact, which is a very low chance. Or 0 chance if you're killing Cyclops or any of that kind of stuff. And then, like, you're risking your kit for some guy to just sit on the outside of the door and then like come in and just like mess up the fight and then you die, and it's like, well, that feels pretty bad too. Honestly, the amount of money that you spend on gear in High Roller, it almost feels like it's not worth risking for boss. Like, I would not want to risk killing Cyclops with HR gear because my gear is worth more than anything that boss could drop, and it's not even close. Cyclops drops the other door. Yeah, but how boring of a loot reward is that? Bosses should actually, like, bosses should drop something that's actually worthwhile. Otherwise, I don't really understand, like, the point. Like, it's not fun killing Cyclops. It's other bosses too, but it's not fun. But just for this, it's not fun to kill Cyclops and to get garbage. Like, it just doesn't feel great. I know not everyone might agree with me. I think every boss should drop artifacts, even if it's a low chance. Ghost King is not a hard fight. Artifacts should not be gate kept. based on going down a floor when ghosting is such an easy fight. Like, trios can easily go down there and slap ghosting in, like, what is it, a minute? Or less? If they're, like, geared and running, like, Shriek and all that shit. I think every boss at this point should drop artifacts, and they should just give bosses artifacts based on, like, what makes sense. Like, Troll and Cyclops should drop, like, Stinky Stick or Delirium. Delirium would be very smart, because they drop Troll's Blood, and Delirium is literally, like, a Troll's Blood shield. Or a Club artifact, or whatever, right? 100%, every boss in the game should drop an artifact, because otherwise it feels like it's not worth the risk. Your trios kill ghosting in 30 seconds. Yeah. So, like, the argument of, well, Troll can't drop an artifact because it's too easy to kill it. But I don't think that's, like, that's not really, I feel like that's not an argument. Because it's so piss easy to go kill Ghost King. So why does it even matter? Tier? 35k. 36. I want to be able to kill... Honestly, you know what the problem is? Goblin Caves is my favorite map. And the map just feels like a PvP arena battleground because most of the gear behind bosses sucks. Also, trying to double boss and have time to also loot pile if you have any PvP is almost impossible unless you're playing like Bard. Like running all the way to Troll, running all the way to Cyclops, and then going all the way to center to loot pile. If you get even one PvP encounter, you're never going to have enough time to even do it. And again, the boss loot sucks. So let's say I go and kill Cyclops with the intention of going to loot the gold pile. A player comes in, now I have to fight that player. I now do not get to even get the rewards of killing Cyclops, because the only reward of Cyclops is that double boss pile, which is now being taken from me because I have to fight this dude that just came in, you know? So, I personally think every boss in the game should have artifacts, or something that is very valuable that only drops from those bosses, and the current stuff don't cut it. It doesn't cut it. Like, this Cyclops rags bullshit. It's basically vendor for, it's like 80 gold vendor fodder. We need some actual good, fun boss stuff, you know? It feels really bad having, like, bossing feel like it's less... Honestly, if I want to make money, I'd rather just... It's better to PvP. Why am I going to go kill boss for an entire match when I can just go kill a player and easily leave with way more than the boss would have ever given me? It just doesn't make sense, you know? Yeah, we have so many artifact weapons in the game at this point. I'm telling you, it just makes sense. Undeniably, Stinky Stick is a great artifact option to go to Troll and Cyclops. I feel like in theme it makes sense. Again, Delirium, I think, also makes sense. Because Delirium gives you HP regeneration, it's basically a Troll's Blood, but in a shield. So it thematically makes sense for those bosses to drop these items. You know? I would actually go a step further, that every boss in the game should have a chance to drop artifacts and minor artifacts. And if we don't have enough minor artifacts to do that, we should have new artifacts that are only dropped by the bosses, you know? You need to be incentivized to do bossing considering how grief heavy it is. And I feel like a lot of people, like me, just ignore bossing because it doesn't feel worth the time and effort. So, I don't know, it's just something that I don't know, just some thoughts, I guess. I have not tested the lock. I'm going to bed soon, so you'll have to ask someone else about that. PvP requires a different set of skills than bossing, and not everyone has those skills. I mean, you added a kappa, but you're not wrong. PvP does require a different set of skills than bossing, because bossing is doing the same thing over and over and over again with telegraphed moves, and PvP is not telegraphed. Everyone does something a little bit differently. It would be like if bosses had completely random abilities that were never quite the same, you know? No, yeah, I actually, that's actually kind of right. Just because you can boss or PvP doesn't mean you can do the other. I guarantee you I would not be able to kill Wyvern even if I tried. That thing would probably kick my ass. If luck does end up being good, I am a little bit curious if that makes gold pile runs actually good. Also, I wonder, like, how much luck do you even build? Because you don't want to gimp your PvP build either. Like, if I'm going in to, like, do, like, bossing runs, you can't, like, you don't want to, like, stack too much luck. Because, you know. Oh, you know what I just thought of, too? I bet you unique gear with luck is actually really expensive now. Like, riveted gloves with luck on them. I knew it. This shit was like 600 gold. Yep, I freaking knew it. I knew it. Yep. It's funny. They should have went other ways to get artifacts, quest items, and other rare items, perhaps navigating the difficult parts of the map. Dungeonborn tried to do something similar. Dungeonborn had, like, and Mistfall too. Mistfall Hunter has it, it's just the game's not out yet. Like the heat map, where certain areas are super high loot, so it's high contest. That stuff was fun. Dungeonborn might have did a lot of things wrong, but the heat map thing that they added towards, like, the end of their game was... You know, how much is a luck lyre? Probably not even for sale. Probably gone. Oh. I guess not. I guess I might have overread. It's still a lot of money, though. 8K, 7K. A lot of money. Yeah, Longsword Crutch is gone, Picasso. Indeed. Okay, well, the developers just confirmed that luck was doing 10% of what it was supposed to, so it really wasn't working. Having 500 luck was the equivalent of having 50 luck per Iron Mace, so it definitely was not working as intended, I would say. Literally 10%. Hey, Crook, welcome, welcome. Yeah, we got a new patch. We just got up a little bit ago. Honestly, I'm convinced that luck did 0%, but it sounds better from Iron Mace's side to just say it was 10% because we can't really deny it. You know. I don't know. It felt like a giant placebo. Like, you know, like you're sick and you eat you eat a placebo pill and then it works. It's like that. You're like, yeah, it worked. I think. Because it could just be variance too. Just because you put luck on and you get better loot doesn't mean it's working. It could also just be, it could strictly just be variance without a huge number of games. I mean, if you play 5 games, 2 with luck and 3 without, and the games without luck are worse loot, that doesn't mean that luck is actually working. It could 100% just be random. You're hoping for looting changes. You're kind of over Quest Fiesta and look at interaction circle looting anything. I'm kind of bored of the looting too, to be honest. It's part of why I said that bossing, I feel like, needs a big revamp, because right now bossing just feels boring to me. Like, bossing isn't fun, and then on top of that, everything else just doesn't really feel great either. I don't even open chests in my games anymore, because I've already, like, I've opened thousands of chests. Like, I don't really want to open more chests. Unless I need to, or start a wipe or something, you know? I don't know. I'm probably being too hopeful. But I'm really hoping that Iron Mace considers adding real loot to bosses, like all bosses, and doesn't just gatekeep it towards, like, Ghost King and stuff like that. But we'll see. Alright, guys, I'm gonna go to bed. It is very late for me. So thank you all for stopping by for the stream. I hope you enjoyed. I gotta finish the video, the cleric video that'll be out tomorrow. And then after I do that and get the thumbnail made, I'm gonna go to bed. So see you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the discussion at stream, etc., etc. All right. See you guys later.